Welcome to sewing class. I'm Annette Julie, and we are going to work on now preparing our muslin for sewing notebook 1. You're going to need thread. You're going to need one hand sewing needle, something to mark with, a fabric scissor, and a ruler. You're also going to need a piece of paper that's forming a right angle. You're going to need muslin fabric, 100% cotton. I have a yard, but I'm sure I'll just be using maybe about half a yard or less. I've already gone ahead and ironed it, and now I'm going to prepare the muslin for use. With our information for sewing notebook 1, we need some 7 by 7 inch squares. We need some 5 by 7 inch rectangles, some 4 by 7 inch rectangles, and a 2 by 7 inch rectangle. So we're going to be preparing 3 7 by 7 inch. That means 7 inch on the width, 7 inch on the length. 2 of 5 inch on the width and 7 inch on the length rectangles. 2 4 inch on the width and 7 inch on the length. And the last one is 1 of 2 inch on the width and 7 inch on the length. And you can refer to the handout that's attached in Canvas. So I've got my muslin. It's already nice and pressed. I ironed it with my hot iron and some steam. And on the top edge here, it's ripped all the way across to the other selvage edge. So here's the selvage edge with no ripped edge, no threads coming out. This means self edge. And I really need just 7 inches on this length to complete a lot of the pieces that I need to prepare. I'm going to take my ruler I'm going to go ahead and line up the selvage edge parallel to the ruler, and I'm going to mark down 7 inches. You can use a marking pencil, you can use a pencil, number 2, or hard lead, or you can use a pen. I like to use a pen so people can actually see what I'm doing. That's down 7 inches, and I'm going to snip in about 1/2 inch with the tips of my fabric scissors. So I've gone in 1/2 inch. This is down the selvage edge, which is the lengthwise grain, and I'm going to rip all the way to the other side, and you have to rip quickly. And now we have a long strip of fabric that is 7 inches on the length and the full width of however wide your muslin is. My muslin is about 45 inches wide, so this is 45 inches long, including the selvage edge. But I want to get rid of that selvage edge, so I'm going to mark in about 1 inch, and I'm going to rip and snip. So here I've got my little snip, 1/2 inch down, and I'm going to rip off my selvage edge. I just took off 1 inch. Now before I go on, I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a set of arrows to show that this is my lengthwise grain. So I'm going to draw an arrow up and down, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure across 7 inches and mark. Seven inches and mark. Let's go ahead and put that same arrow up and down next to our marks. So when we snip and rip this fabric off, we know where the lengthwise grain is. We can also denote that this is a 7 by 7 inch. We're going to snip 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. And now we have 1, 2, and 3 pieces. Seven by 7, 7 by 7, and 7 by 7. We have 3 of them. And of course we still have some muslin that we can continue to use. So this is our 7-inch length. And our next 2 pieces, we need 5 inches across in the width. So let's go ahead and we're marking across 5 inches and 5 inches. And we need 2 of that. Let's go ahead and draw our arrows to show the lengthwise grain. And let's also mark that these are going to be 5 inch by 7. 5 inch by 7. And we just need 2 of that. So we're ready to snip. And snip in again 1/2 inch. And we're ripping off 1 piece and 2 piece. And now we've prepared the 5 by 7s. Now we need 2 of the 4 by 7. So we have the 7-inch length. Let's mark across 4 inches. And across another 4 inches. Draw our arrows to show the lengthwise grain. And let's mark this 4 by 7 inches. Now we're ready to snip on our lines in 1/2 inch, in 1/2 inch, and rip. Make sure you rip quickly and rip. Now we have our 2 4 by 7s. We only have 1 more piece to rip. We're going to prepare the 2 by 7 inch. So I'm going to go across 2 inches. This is on my cross grain, and we already know my lengthwise grain is 7 inches. Let's mark this 2 by 7. Snip in 1/2 inch, and we're going to rip it. Now we have all of our pieces prepared for ironing. We've done all the ripping. Let's get them on the ironing board. Each piece needs to be ironed with heat and steam, so it lays nice and flat. And once each piece is pressed properly, then we're going to go ahead and block them. Blocking means pulling at the sides of the muslin fabric and bringing the threads back to making right angles with each other. Right now the fabric could look like a trapezoid or a parallelogram, but we want to make sure that everything has right angles and we're looking at squares and true rectangles. So press the fabric on both sides, make sure the edges are not curled up. Your setting on the iron should be at high for cotton. And all 4 edges should be ripped. Not cut, but ripped. Now we're working on our 7x7s. In a second, we're going to use our 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper to check to make sure we need to block our fabric or not. Everything's pressed and ready. And we're going to go ahead and take one of our 7x7s, and I'm going to place it on the corner and I'm lining it all the way up along the bottom edge there. And we can see that it is not lining up with the other edge. It is not making a right angle. So this side is going over. It's too long. So we're going to pull on the fabric and we're going to bring this corner right back to here. We're going to pull evenly on both sides. And that's called blocking your fabric. We're going to lay it on the bottom edge. And that looks nicely blocked now. It's lining up. Great. Let's proceed to the next swatch. Take our next 7x7. Lay it down. It's doing the same thing. It's going over by about 1/4 inch. So we're going to pull and we're going to bring that corner back. Pulling on the bias. Pulled evenly on both sides. We're lining it up on the bottom. And now it's moved over. So we're going to go through each one of our swatches and we're going to block them if they need to. First we're going to check them. Oh, this goes way over. We have to pull this back. Let's go ahead and block it. Now let's go ahead and check it. Still about another 1/4 inch. Since this one needs a little bit more work, we'll put it back on the iron, heat it up, get a little bit hot and steamy. Let's check this. Okay, let's go ahead and pull on the bias. looks really good. Now we've done all the 7x7s. We will continue on with the 5x7s. This looks nice. It doesn't need any blocking. Also does not need blocking. We ripped the 7x7 inches first, and those are towards the edge. Here we need to go ahead and repress this. So the fabric towards the edge, towards the selvage edge, is usually a little bit more off grain. And then once you get to the middle of the roll, it looks a lot better. Here, this is off a little bit. Let's go ahead and pull this. Get ourselves back to some right angles. That looks pretty good. And we'll go through the rest of our swatches. And after they're all properly blocked, then you're ready to start your sewing. That completes the preparation of Sewing Notebook 1 muslin ripping and blocking. See you in the next video.